This is the Kpopcast, and in this episode, we're going to KCON. But this time, we're asking the question, do K-drama fans go to KCON? Hello, everybody. This is your PD Nim Michaela, and in this episode, you'll hear my online and in-person interviews from KCON LA 2023. And we're talking all things K-drama that we've seen at KCON LA so far, and what we'd love to see more of in the future. But before we get into those topics, don't forget to join the Kpopcast listener fam on Slack. You can find links in the episode description. Morning. So first, can you introduce yourself to our listeners and what your role is at Viki or Soompi?
Sure. Hi, my name is Karen Paek. I'm the VP of Marketing at Rakuten Viki and Soompi.
Okay, so we're here today mostly covering all of the K-drama stuff that's here at KCON today, or this past weekend. So can you explain a bit about what specific events or production that Viki and Rakuten has been involved with this weekend?
Yeah, happy to. So we're super excited to be back at KCON. It's been about 5 years. The last time we were here was in 2018. And this year, we're definitely going bigger than ever. We are bringing a K-drama cafe to the fans here at KCON. And this idea was born out of actually a collaboration we did with Wong Productions last year. If you've never heard of them, they're actually a production studio that's been around for a long time. They produce a lot of short form content that is through an Asian American lens. So last year we partnered with them to create some branded content, and one of the pieces of content that we had created with them was around a magical Viki cafe that you could step into the world of like a K-drama with second lead syndrome. And we saw a lot of just like positive feedback from that and people asking, when is that cafe going to pop up for real? And so we decided to bring it at KCON, and we have just a lot of exciting activations happening around our booth. So we do have an actual cafe setup that we built. We've partnered with Wong again to be there, as well as Bopo Mofo, which is a local bubble tea shop. They have 2 locations currently in the LA area. They have another one in San Diego, but they are doing bubble tea drops for our subscribers twice a day for all 3 days while they're here. And so that's been a huge hit and a huge success. We also have a photo booth that's happening with we call it the blue screen because Viki has an iconic blue color associated with our brand, not a green screen. But you can pick just the background from one of your favorite dramas like True Beauty or Goblin or My Lovely Liar. Actually, Goblin is technically the official name is Guardian, the Great and Lonely God. It's a very long name. Yeah, Tokebi. And so you can pick from, I think it's like one of like 6 drama backdrops to just kind of insert yourself into. And so we've been seeing really fun, cute photos from, people posing with their favorite actors in those dramas. We've been doing a lot of good giveaways as well. We're also giving away mystery gifts to anyone who's just a registered user. So those are surprise gifts that we've given, and we're getting really positive just reception from all of the audiences. I mean, the lines have been massive, but we're really happy to see that people are really excited about it. The last thing I want to mention is we've had a couple of really great influencer and K-pop celebrity booth visits. We took over the KCON stage and did the Zero Base One dance with Phil Wang from Wong leading it, and we saw a really great crowd. So just the energy here has been really great.
Yeah. Since we're recording this on Sunday, is there any specific memorable moment or something that surprised you from the weekend so far? For you personally? For me personally, I wouldn't say I'm that surprised per se, because I always kind of knew the fandom around K-pop in general. But I think the thing that has felt, I guess, made it a more pleasant experience outside of the chaos of trying to run an activation this big has just been seeing, one, I think just the diversity of the audience that's here.
just rich in just a lot of different people who are coming across like age ranges, ethnicities, like people who are coming with, I see moms and daughters here, and they're all fans. And I think that's just been really exciting. And they're also really nice and great and appreciative when they come by. And so I think just seeing kind of like that camaraderie amongst K-pop fans and being able to see it in person has been just really fulfilling and amazing. Yeah.
So we know Viki has been coming to this event from the very beginning. So it's been about almost 11 years now, I believe, since they came in 2012, back when KCON first started. When it comes to Viki's approach to coming to a K-pop event specifically, is there any specific goal or approach that you guys have when it comes to building production and events here at the convention?
Yeah, I think the reason why we felt like it made sense to really be at KCON is that this is the largest, I think, live in-person forum for an audience of K-culture enthusiasts as a whole. And what we know is also that a lot of people are actually becoming interested in just K-culture and K-entertainment as a whole through music, through K-pop, whether they hear about BTS through their friends or on social media or just like mass media outlets. Could be Blackpink, could be 50/50. I think that's where kind of like that spark happens. And so we really see coming here as the ability to get our name out there, get the awareness out there about Viki, and have people just have that brand recognition and awareness that Viki is like a hub for Asian content across, and we're actually not just Korean content and Korean dramas. Like Viki hosts one of the largest, robust catalogs of like Asian content as a whole. So you can get the new on-air Korean dramas, the back catalog of it. Thousands of shows, Chinese content, Japanese content, Thai, different genres. It's not just romantic comedy. It's like thriller, it's drama, it's boy love. So just really rich. And we know that there's a lot of different types of preferences. And again, like I mentioned, like there's just a richness in the diversity of the audience here. So we want to be able to show and share with the fans that are coming through here, who I think are just pretty receptive and open to all of the different types of content that are coming out of Asia, and just to like introduce ourselves to those people who don't know about us. Yeah.
Yeah, and then so to build off of that, like you said, this is a very diverse group of people that we have today. When it comes to, K-pop and Korean drama, Asian drama fans specifically, from Viki's perspective, have you seen a more of an intersection than before, or is there an intersection at all?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. I think there's always been an intersection simply because if you look at a lot of K-pop idols, they do cross over into acting as well. So I think that's a more natural crossover. So I don't know if you're seeing it more than we were seeing it before, like even a decade ago. But that naturally, if people are fans of a particular K-pop idol that's in a particular drama, you see a lot of people flooding to watch it. And a lot of these are really great shows. For example, right now on Viki, we have My Lovely Liar, which has Hwang Min-hyun in it as well. And so that's doing well. And I can't discount the fact that besides, it is a really great fun show, but that there is a popular K-pop musician in it as well. So I think there's definitely the crossover in that way. But again, like I mentioned before, I think it also is just K-pop being one channel or avenue to be exposed to just the world of K-entertainment and culture. I mean, you see at KCON, it's also about like lifestyle, beauty. K-beauty is huge. And I think it just allows people to become more immersed just in the culture as a whole. Fashion is another area.
Great, thank you. Let me see. I guess maybe then just to wrap up this interview, we want to definitely learn more about again, more of the approach that vendors have when they come. Do you have any advice that you would give to people who are coming to K-pop for the first time as a vendor and trying to build their brand or interact with the audience? Yeah,
I think one of the most important things is to really have a good eye on who the audience is in particular. So even if you're not specifically a Soompi or a Viki or a K-pop a very closely aligned K-pop brand. I think it's really understanding like who is this target audience, what are they interested in, why are they passionate about this music, and just understanding that there is a range of people who come through, but I think the one unifying thing about them is that they are open, right? They are open to other cultures. They are embracing of other cultures and differences. And so I think having an understanding about the audience first and foremost is like the most important thing when you come to an event like this, and thinking about like what is going to be meaningful to them, what is going to be attractive and enticing to them. Of course, free stuff works and that helps too. People love the free swag that you can give away. But yeah, I think that's probably one of the most important things. And then, just knowing that this is a forum where you really have like a really huge opportunity to get in front of just this type of audience. And so, and K-pop fans also tend to be very active on social media, for example. Right. And so from a marketing perspective, because I'm a marketing person, thinking about how do you tap into that ability to use KCON kind of as like just as like a center point for being able to create viral moments on social media. So you really want to have a presence, I think, that creates an experience that is shareable and memorable. So that's the advice I would give to vendors, is just keep in mind it's not just about the attendees on the convention floor, but how are you growing reach for your brand outside of the convention floor by creating something that really is also social first.
Right.
Yeah.
Very, very last question before we wrap up, because I know you got to get back to the day. Do you have a favorite boba drink from this weekend? Have you gotten a chance to try them or?
Yeah. So actually, Bopo Mofo is amazing. They created a custom limited time, currently for KCON only. I don't know if they'll bring it back again. A Viki Blue drink. And so, and they are known for only natural drinks, using only natural ingredients. So even the blue color is like a blue spirulina in it. Yeah, that one, it has coconut milk in it. It's got like a lychee and juice and tea in it. But that one is my favorite. Definitely. Yeah. And I think people are just intrigued by the blue color, and they're pretty impressed that it's all natural ingredients. But yeah, people have said it tastes delicious and they love it.
Yeah, I tried it yesterday. I was surprised how blue it was. It was so good.
Please come by and try one of the other flavors too. Those are great as well. I also tried the matcha oat milk latte. That one is for like kind of the purest green tea boba fans. That one was delicious too. Yeah.
Wrapping up, is there anything else that you want our listeners to know again about Viki or about Soompi or about anything else that's at the event today?
I would just say we are here representing ourselves as Viki. I think many people don't know that actually Soompi is a part of Viki. And so we are trying to do more in terms of being able to bring our brands closer together. Soompi is an editorial platform. It's one of the longest running K-pop and now just in general K-entertainment news platforms. The writing is agnostic, so we don't just write about Viki content. It's really just trying to cover all of the interesting news that people want to hear about, and just fun content that we could create there. But definitely, I know there's a lot of Soompi fans here, and there's probably a lot of strong recognition for Soompi. But yeah, if you want to check out or get recommendations for any dramas on Viki, there's so much good content, and there's a lot of recommendations on Soompi as well. So that's what I would want to say. Yep.
Great. Thank you so much for talking with me. You have a great rest of your weekend.
You too. Thanks a lot. Bye.
Jen.
Hi, Michaela.
Welcome. First off, just can you introduce yourself and kind of what the K3 is?
Absolutely. I am Jen from the K3. The K3 is essentially myself and Marisa. We originally started with three, with Karen as well. And we basically are just three women in Los Angeles who loved K-dramas and loved talking about them. And so we would get together and talk about them. And then we were like, we want to share our thoughts. And so we decided to start a YouTube channel. And that was 6 years ago. And so we
wow.
And we kind of started off just kind of talking about what we're liking and what our favorites are. And then it kind of morphed into talking about what was currently airing. And so we were doing a live for that. That was a lot of fun. And then just between COVID and work and all that kind of stuff, we're kind of in a restructuring right now. And so it's mostly just reviews of stuff, recommendations and reviews.
Oh yeah, we know all about that over here at the Kpopcast.
Oh my God,
we've been around for about like 6-7 years too, so we've gone through a bunch of different iterations. I suppose.
Exactly, we're always pivoting. We're like, what should we do now? What's working? What do people want to hear?
Right.
So yeah.
Okay. So then you specifically, I'm very curious. I'm also a subscriber, so I'm just curious about this personally.
Thank you so much, Michaela.
What is your K-drama origin story? Like, how did you get into K-dramas?
So my origin story is I was just hanging out watching a lot of Netflix. I think I was unemployed at the time and trying to, the usual, sitting around trying to figure out your life, watching a lot of Netflix and scanning and doing a lot of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And I was watching a lot of foreign language stuff, a variety of foreign language stuff. And all of a sudden, Netflix, as it does, recommended a K-drama. I was like, I mean, why not? Why not? I'll give it a try.
Right.
And it was Descendants of the Sun.
Oh, yes.
Right.
Wait, so then was this around 2020 then when it came out or?
No, Descendants of the Sun was like 2016.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
I'm not Crash Landing on You, Descendants of the Sun.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm thinking of Crash. Okay. My bad. Yes.
No, that's okay. Because I know that like Descendants of the Sun was a huge gateway for many, many of us here in the States. And so was Crash Landing on You in the middle of COVID. So those are kind of two big gateways for the States if you had not already been into K-dramas for like a decade prior and like on that, bootleg VHS track, which I was not, but I kind of wish I was because I feel like that is a super cool group to be a part of.
Okay, so you start with Descendants of the Sun back in 2016, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And then where did you go from there? Like what kind of kept you through it? Was it just Descendants of the Sun? Was that good?
What was fascinating about it, and it really is one of those, you have like turning points in your life, and this sounds so dramatic, and I apologize, but I watched Descendants of the Sun, and I realized in that first opening scene where there was a bunch of like military things happening, I knew absolutely nothing about Korea, North Korea, South Korea, anything except like MASH. Like that was my grand knowledge of, which is embarrassing to admit, but
that's all of us, especially us US fans.
Exactly. Like just dumb American times a bajillion. And I don't know what it triggered in me, but I suddenly was on Google and I was reading and I just became kind of obsessed with learning. And then I kind of fell down the language rabbit hole and I've been studying Korean for the last 6 years. So it's been a complete world-altering experience, K-dramas for me. So I thank them very much. It's been amazing.
Right. Okay, so then let's get into the KCON of it all. So what KCONs have you attended so far?
I have attended 2 of them, and I was looking at your list and I was trying to figure out which 2, and I think it was 2018 and 2019.
Oh, okay.
So it's been a while. It's been a while since I've been to a KCON. The first one that we went to was actually quite fun because we did a meetup with some of our listeners. And so that was a lot of fun. And there was a panel with a bunch of K-drama bloggers and I think just bloggers at the time because a lot of people were on YouTube or even doing podcasts. And it was Jen from Drama Beans was there.
Oh,
and so we
Drama
met
Beans.
her and we met Young Ajima. And so that was a really enjoyable. And so we kind of enjoyed that. And then the following year we went and it was suddenly there was nothing K-drama related.
Right.
Like nothing. It went from very little, obviously, but just absolutely nothing the following year, which I think was 2019.
Right. And that's kind of something that we've gotten into recently, especially doing research, is that we've realized that, like, especially from like 2012 to 2016, there was a significant amount of K-drama like things where you had panels, you had booths with like multiple like TVN, like Viki, Cocoa, all the networks were there. And then you even, especially in 2015 and 2016, you had K-drama actors actually attending the show, like specifically in 2016 for me, because that was my first KCON. You know, there was Lee Min-ho and Park Bo-gum as like the main MCs for day 1 and day 2 of the concert. And I believe I believe Park Bo-gum had a meet and greet like event actually at the convention. So, and previously there have been a few other actors that have had like actual meet and greet at the convention. I believe it was like in 2013. Yeah, no, like 2015, like Kim Soo-hyun, Daniel Henney, Song Ho-jun all had actual events at the KCON.
Wow. So. What do you know why they just completely dropped that? Was it just not, were people just not coming to it, or was there, I'm very curious because I would think that people would enjoy that.
Yeah, I think so far we have yet to get official statements from actual KCON people. But so far, kind of like our impression is that, especially as KCON has evolved, and, you know, different people have had their different hands in it. Sort of like the people who are involved with it at the time are really what's driving the content there. And so as KCON, you know, kind of is figuring out its audience and figuring out like what people are there for and what they can bring people there for. They're throwing things, they're throwing less at the wall. Like they have earlier KCONs, like there was like video game tournaments and like showcases or what is it, screenings for like Mission Impossible movies. Like they were doing a lot early on, and now they're just kind of more focused on K-pop and knowing that through K-pop they can bring the audiences to these other, you know, more Hallyu content like K-dramas or K-beauty or K-food. Yeah.
Interesting. Because I would think that like screenings, like if you did a screening of like the finale of Crash Landing on You at KCON, like that'd be huge.
And that's what they used to do. Drama Fever used to have screening rooms like at the convention where people would watch, you know, maybe like the first episode of a show or maybe like the premiere of a film that was just added to Drama Fever.
Right. Like kind of like, have you ever been to Comic-Con down in San Diego?
I haven't personally.
Yeah. Like that's Comic-Con is that. Like it's amazing. Like you watch a premiere of a show coming out that fall that everyone's been talking about. And it was so fun. And then I don't know if they could do that with, you know, KCON, but then like the actors would come out and talk about shooting it. And you were just like, you know, you could just nerd out like so heavily on the different genre shows that you really dug. And I just am really surprised that KCON hasn't either continued that, which it sounds like they did that originally, or like reintroduced it. Because I think especially with how popular K-dramas are now these days, like I feel like that would be huge, right? Maybe.
Right. And so your experience personally when it comes to KCON, you've mostly attended like panel events related to K-drama. Was there any other, you know, specific production or events that you can remember from those KCONs that you attended that were K-drama related other than those?
K-drama related, no. I did attend one from a gentleman who is the Talk to Me in Korean guy. And so that was really interesting. He did kind of a K-drama language thing, which I thought was interesting. And Maurice and I usually just go and check out all the beauty things because K-beauty's kind of cool.
Right.
And huge.
Right.
I mean, who doesn't want their skin? Like, it's amazing.
That's the reason I go every year, especially Saturday, Sunday when they have like the half price, like discounts on everything.
Right.
Like everything's like 80% off or free, buy one, get one. Like, that's why I go. All right. So then let's bring it to the big question then. So do you think that KCON is an event for K-drama fans?
I mean, I just personally don't think so. I mean, unless you're a K-pop fan. If you're just a straight up K-drama fan, it's just not. There's just nothing there. Unfortunately, it's just nothing. They're not catering to us at all. I mean, Coco is there, which is lovely, and Vicky's there, which is lovely, but they're not. I don't really need to. I mean, I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but I don't really need to go there and stand next to a stand-up of, you know, Park Seo-joon. You know,
right.
I think as a K-drama fan, and maybe it's just my Comic-Con experience, I want to go and kind of either hear from the people who make K-dramas about what it is, like the writing and the producing and the acting. Like that's who I am as a human being anyway. Like I like to create myself. So that's the kind of stuff that I enjoy learning about and hearing about and how that's all comes together, right? I think that's why so many of us enjoy watching the press conferences for all the K-dramas, right? Because you want to hear about, the actors working together and how it got made and what they were excited about and what scenes that we should be, And I think that's just
all the chemistry on and off camera.
Exactly, right? I mean, how do people lose their minds over everybody being in a real relationship in real life? How do you get there without, it's hilarious. I'm just like, whoa, people, it's called acting. But anyway, it's a whole nother that's a whole nother podcast.
Right.
They're like, did you see the way he held her hand? I'm like, he's supposed to. I don't know what to tell you. He's just a good actor. Mm-hmm. But okay.
Well, I don't know. We still have questions about some of those scenes from Secretary Kim.
Oh my God. I mean, I'm not saying that there's not some that's happening. Because I'll be honest, I was the first one who was just like, guys are not dating. It's not happening. Like, I don't know what you're talking about. And then all of a sudden they're like, we're getting married. I'm like, wait, what?
Right.
I'm like, oh, I was way off base on that. Okay. All right. I stand corrected.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, it's fun, right? Like, that's what we want to watch. We want to make, you want to know that your favorite actor or actress isn't a complete, you want to know that they're fun to work with and they're fun to be around and they're, at least for me, that's how I enjoy. I enjoy kind of knowing that kind of background information about some shows that I watch.
Other than that, those kinds of more panel events, is there any other K-drama production or events that you would like to see at KCON more?
I mean, I guess it just gets complicated to some extent. I mean, I would love to see screenings because I think you have enough. You have KCON here.
Right.
You have, CGV here, like, CG Entertainment. Like, they could bring things to a KCON type situation and do a screening, right? I think you could do something fun like that. I think there's just ways that you could get the K-drama fan more involved, because unfortunately, I think a lot of the K-pop bands that are coming, a lot of those, at least have noticed, like Rain was here this time, but he was only there as in K-pop capacity, right? He wasn't there as his actor persona at all. And so I was that was interesting to me. Like, why did he not, why could you not have brought him on to talk about one of the shows he had just done, or if he has anything coming up, or, something that could, lend itself to the K-drama fan who maybe enjoys him as an actor, And so I find that many of at least for me, and again, I'm way older than most K-pop fans, right? So, I'm not going to really enjoy the K-pop idols, the younger ones that would be coming to KCON that are also actors. I mean, there's very few that I'm, but I also don't think that the K-pop bands that they bring have actors in them, do they?
There have been a few. Notably just recently we had ZB1 at KCON, and Jiwoong, who is a very popular BL actor, is in that group.
Oh, well, see, now that that would be amazing to listen to hear what he has to say, right? And so I guess that would be another thing. Like, if you're going to bring the K-pop bands over with some actors in there, can they not do double duty?
Right.
To,
Yeah. Do you ever think that we could get like a K-drama con? Do you ever see that in the future? I would
nerd out so bad. I would like to say yes, because I think it would be so much fun and it would be amazing. I think whoever does it, you'd have to start. I think you just have to start really small. I don't think you could do it KCON level quite right out of the gate, unless you had like a CGV champion it and bring in like all their people, or like a KCON could definitely host something like that. I think if you got one of them as a sponsor anchor, you probably could do something a little bit bigger. I mean, I would love to see it. I just don't know financially if it would be viable. I'm sorry. Am I just being a huge downer about this?
No. You're being honest. This is why we brought you here. We want your perspective. We want you to be honest.
Like, I would love to see it. Like, I really have enjoyed Comic-Con. I've enjoyed that whole vibe of just being there. I mean, you've been to KCON. Like, the K-pop fans love it because they're with their people, and everybody knows these bands and they enjoy it and they have a great time, and you just kind of really just get in that vibe, and that's exactly what it's like at Comic-Con. And I think a K-drama one would be the same thing. And so I just don't know if the actors are not interested, if it just becomes more complicated because of the language, needs that you'd have to have a translator with most of them, not all of them. I honestly don't know the logistics that it would require, but I think it would be cool as hell. I wish someone would do it.
All right. And my perspective, again, just as somebody who's never really like worked in television or anything like that, it almost feels like, especially since we're in this new era of Korean movies winning Oscars and Korean TV shows getting more and winning Emmys, or Korean actors winning Emmys or awards for their shows. It almost feels like the Korean actor space, or at least the Korean television movie space, feels like there's more legitimacy going to these again, more established American award shows and events that are about that. And KCON almost feels like a step down. And that's just my perspective. I feel like an actor who's, again, more trying to make it in the U.S. isn't going to go to KCON where it's just a bunch of K-drama fans. They're going to try to reach out to these spaces that haven't been tapped, or new audiences that haven't had the experience with Hallyu.
I absolutely see that point for sure. I think that's probably who am I to judge? The biggest misstep. Really, I don't know if that's the right question, the way to state it, but the KCON powers that be separating it to K-pop and getting rid of K-drama, I think they missed an opportunity to kind of rise with that tide, right? As K-dramas were becoming, starting this, they already had the Hallyu wave with K-pop, right? And some actors for sure.
Right.
But right, with between Parasite and then Squid Game, it's now just become such a huge thing that I think if they would have kept them together, I think they could have maybe built something that was Comic-Con level of a cool thing for the actors to come and do. Mm-hmm. Right. But I totally see it where maybe a K-drama guy is or actor or actress is just going to be I'm not coming. I'm not doing that. That is just not going to, that is a different realm that I want to be in.
Yeah. Because we already see that in terms of how Korean actors and Korean idols are kind of seen, at least by the general public in Korea. There's always scandal and controversy anytime there's an award show that has both idols and actors, and it's perceived that the actors are treated way better than the idols in those scenarios.
Oh, I've caught it a little bit, but because I'm so kind of outside of the idol thing, and I'm not saying this because I'm not a fan. I met most of the popular idol actors as actors and not as idols. Mm-hmm. So I'm always oh, really? Oh, I didn't know. I'm just oh, why are they dancing? I don't understand what's happening right now. And it's so. So I get it, but I'm also fascinated by it, to be honest, because I'm if you can act, I don't understand what the thing is, but But I can kind of see that. If you're going after the idol actor fan base, you're not going to get the elite. And I hate saying it like that because they're all just actors at the end of the day.
Right.
You're not going to get the, higher paid actors to maybe come as well. Which is, I think it's a missed opportunity, because I think especially for the ones that are fluent in English, the opportunity to expand their base, I think it would be crazy cool if they would come and hang out and do a panel and talk about their work, right? I think if you started there, it would be kind of a really cool thing.
Okay, so wrapping up, Jen, so do you have, first, can you tell our listeners where they can find you on all socials? And then do you have anything that you want to promote for, yourself or the K3?
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, you can pretty much find us at the K3. Spell it out. THEK. I can't even spell it myself. KTHREE. We're at YouTube. We are on Instagram, and I will never not call it Twitter. We're at Twitter.
Right. Yeah.
It's dying a slow, horrible, painful death, but I'm going down with that ship.
Same.
So you can find us all there, and we just kind of chat about that stuff. we're kind of launching a newsletter, just kind of as a Because I as a K-drama fan, like, you can't keep up with everything on the socials, right? So I try to like go around and grab all my favorite headlines and put them into one newsletter for you once a week. So keep an eye out for that if you are interested in just kind of getting a dose once or twice a week of just the highlights. We're doing that. I would just like to remind everyone that, unfortunately, the only thing that we are able to talk about is on Viki and Cocoa because of the strike.
Right.
And so don't forget about us. We will be back.
Got it. So subscribe, everybody.
Exactly.
Notifications
subscribe,
on.
Follow us. Let us know. Because we are still here. There's just very little we can talk about.
Right. And listeners, you can find me at Michaela J. Kpop on Twitter. And you can find all of us at the Kpopcast at the Kpopcast on Twitter and all socials. Thank you so much to my guests for this episode. And I'll see you guys next year at KCON. Goodbye, everybody.